Welcome to the Live Fit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Hello, party people. Welcome back to another episode of the Live Fit Listens podcast. I'm realizing I didn't even pull up my outline yet on my laptop. But hi, we're back. Okay, 2 episodes in a row. All right, not too bad. 2 weeks in a row. Here we go. I need to share something before we get started because this was new knowledge to me. I just found this out, and the amount of FOMO that I feel is absolutely unbearable, and I need to get it out so that I can speak this into existence and share what kind of my next goal is in the social media world. This is it, okay? So let's just go back down memory lane for a second. I currently wear, well, no, even further. Okay, let's go back to circa 2014, circa 2015. I got into wake surfing around that age with my next door neighbors, okay? When I tell you we were wannabe Roxy girls, that's all we wanted to be. We were obsessed with Kalia Moniz. She is a professional surfer on Oahu, Hawaii. And we would wear our Roxy wetsuits to wake surfing and all this stuff like we were wannabe Roxy girls, okay? And then I got a Roxy ski jacket. I've been wearing that, literally my same jacket since like 2017. I'm not even kidding. I've had it since high school. But then additionally, I just got a new ski suit and it's Roxy. And guess what I come to find out today on Instagram? I see that Roxy is hosting like a brand influencer trip. They set them all up to the nines. They are doing like, it's a whole snow trip. So they're going skiing, snowmobiling. There's like a freaking hot chocolate workshop. And I don't even know what else, but they like decked out everyone's room with all this new Roxy gear. Like I think they gave people new snowboards and stuff. And the thing is that half the girls there don't even ski, like it looks like. I know like a few of them definitely don't ski and they're still there. So it's my point in saying that is just that it's like it is kind of more so like a feel good, cutesy, aesthetic trip. But they're literally in the town that I live in, okay? I live in a ski town in Utah, and they're here at one of our ski resorts that are one of the mountains, and I'm like, that should be me. Like, all I'm hearing is that should be me, the Justin Bieber song. Like, I'm like, I would be perfect for this. And what makes this even worse is that I literally, last time I went skiing, I took some new pictures because I wanted to post in my new little ski suit just because it's cute, and I never posted the freaking pictures, and this is just a sign to get my act together because who knows, at least I would have had a more chance than I do now. I would have had a slighter, bigger chance of if I had posted it and Roxy could have maybe seen it, liked it, been like, hey, this girl lives in the same, she's in the same town where we're going to for our little brand trip. Like, hell, maybe we should just invite her. We won't need to pay for her airfare or whatever. Like, I'm like, who would have thought? Like, I'm just saying it was a little kick in my butt of like, you never know who's watching or what it could do. Like, stop waiting. I've been super, I've been like procrastinating a lot with Instagram, I guess, if you will. And I just was like, Liv, who knows? Like, we don't know for sure, but maybe my odds would have been a little bit better of getting an invite if I had posted in my Roxy suit. I'm just saying, I guess I just feel like I am actually such like I've always been a Roxy fan for like actually a decade at this point. Like oh my gosh, 15, I literally would be on my knees in disbelief if Roxy hit me up and said like, hey, come, we're doing a ski trip. I literally would be beside myself in the best way. And I have so much FOMO. Like I want to be there so badly. I can ski. It would be so much fun. It's like such a cutesy vibe. I love the brand. Anyway, so I'm saying this to say, I'm trying to speak this into existence because that would be so cool to be a part of something like that. And that's kind of like my next like social media career goal. Like I would love to not only get invited on a brand trip, like that's like one thing, but on the other hand, I would love to now like lean into even more so my like adventure active lifestyle side towards my content. Like I would love to now work with like a wake surf company or like a boating company or like a ski company, surf company, like something like that, whether it's just like a paid partnership, like they're paying me to make content, or I go on a brand ship with them, or even like they send me something. Like that is kind of where that I would be like, damn, like that's another crazy social media goal that I checked off. So anyways, I'm just here to say I have major FOMO and I feel so strongly that should be me. So I'm saying this to declare, to manifest. And I know this is so random on the podcast, but like I literally just found this out like 5 minutes before I sat down to film, and I just need to get this out because I love Roxy and I would love to be a part of something like that. So Roxy, if this is you, if you're hearing me, universe, I'm in alignment towards this. I believe in myself. I'm a strong candidate for this. We're completely aligning. I'm deserving. I'm worthy. I'm ready for this. I'm going to hardcore manifest this because like the amount of soul knowing that I have right now that I should be there is just like, I'm hoping this feeling is like, oh, don't worry. Like, this is what's coming for you. Like you're seeing this because you're next in line for an experience like this. That's how I'm going to take this. Anyway, welcome back to another episode, okay? I was recording a YouTube video actually, and it was about getting started in the gym. And I kind of was, for whatever reason, I just so happened to have been weaving some other like greater lessons involved with getting started in the gym. And I was like, wait, these are actually some like words of wisdom. Like this is good, like holistic advice too. So I kind of pulled some stuff from that video, some other things that I have just to share with you guys, like 6 overall life lessons that I really love just for some mindset realignment. Literally all of these could probably be their own podcast episode, but I kind of just wanted to put some all together so you guys can listen to this if you need just like a little bit of like, a realignment, if you just want some gentle reminders without like, completely exhausting every option. So we're going to do a compilation of everything. Again, some of these are from that YouTube video, but some of them are just some other things that I thought of when outlining this of like, ooh, that's a good one to share that I've been thinking about as well. So before we get into it, my gratitude for this episode, I'm realizing I didn't do a gratitude for last week's episode, I don't think. I honestly feel so grateful for like a lot of things, but I'm really so grateful for my father and just the amount of like the mentor role he's played in my life. And just how like inspiring he is and how much he motivates me to follow my own dreams and just like work hard. Like I was talking to him more last night about like his life story, and I love when I get him talking on those topics because I end up finding out more about him every time. And every time I'm like flabbergasted at how hardworking he was at such a young age and how much of just like a go-getter mindset he had and how he just was like, I don't know, I'm just going to go do it and figure it out. Like he has just taken so many metaphorical swings at life, and I really think that's like a reason of why he's so successful is because he just kept trying stuff. So anyways, that's what I'm grateful for today. I'm really thankful for my dad. I'm so thankful for our close relationship. I feel like we've gotten so much closer over the past like 5 years or so, 100%, and I admire him so much, and I literally would feel so lost without him if I'm going to be honest. So, all right, let's get into the episode. First life lesson that I have. This one is a really good one, and I think we all need to hear it from time to time. It is to value your opinion of you more than others' opinions of you. This is huge, and I think that this, like gaining awareness to this one thing, I think will shift a lot for a lot of us because it's just a different way to think about things because that saying like whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. It's making me think of that in the sense of like, oh, I didn't see it that way. Like, well, when you tell it to me like that, it's like a wake-up call of like, oh, yeah, I actually am letting these random strangers run my life pretty much because I'm caring so much about what they think. And so the way this really shows up and like why this feels strongly to me, it's showing up in those situations where it's like, oh, I want to go do this one thing, but I'm scared of being judged. Like I want to start to go be a content creator, but I'm scared of the strangers that are going to judge me for like taking pictures on the street, that sort of thing. Like you are inherently saying you're totally giving your power away because you're just inherently saying that their first of all, hypothetical judgment, but we'll get into that further in the episode. You're saying that their judgment of you is worth more than your desire to do what you want to do, which in this case is take pictures for your social media career. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you are inherently giving your power away by not doing things out of fear of judgment from somebody else, or being quote unquote made fun of from somebody else. You are just basically giving your power away and saying, actually, what they have to say is more worthy than my opinion. It's worth more than my opinion because I'm changing my course of action based on their belief systems, which is just showing through action that I'm valuing what they have to say more than what I have to say. When really, this is where we can take our own power back, and you can start to be in the driver's seat of your life and create your own reality and be in a much more grounded position when you say, actually, I know what I think of myself. I know what I value. I know what I want to do. And so I'm going to do these things that align with that because I said so, because I value my opinion of myself, of the actions I'm doing, of the interests I'm pursuing. I value my opinion of those more than the people around you. And again, when you realize this mindset, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been living my life based on what other people think is cool. I've been running my life based on wearing what is trendy, what other people say is cool. I've been choosing my career path based on what other people say is quote unquote a real job. Like, when you're living from that space, you're literally just letting everyone else run your life because you're going to them. And because the thing is, all these things in life, the job, what to wear, what your interests are, there's no right way to live life. There's no objective correct answer. So by you just blindly accepting these other people's opinions and living your life that way, you're just saying that they are the ones who have the right answer. And again, you're letting them run your life when really there's no one right way to do it. Like, the best thing that you can do to live a life of full alignment and full fulfillment is to live in alignment with your truth and with your values and with your opinions. And I promise you're just going to feel so much more liberated, so much more free. And again, those feelings of fulfillment and alignment because you're actually living in your authenticity. So that's a huge one. You need to value your opinion of you more than others' opinions of you. And that's how you'll actually be the driver in your own life. And you'll actually have, this is the word I'm looking for, you will have autonomy over your own life because you are the one running the show. We each have one life. So why would we give the conductor role to someone else, a stranger who doesn't even know you? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's like a huge one. And that has helped me a lot when it is trying to pursue my social media career, vlogging out in public or filming in the gym or whatever it is, or deciding to go a super unconventional route with my career. I needed, like, in order to get here, I needed to have such strong conviction and respect and value and conviction in my own opinion and what I believe to be true and what I believe to be right for myself and what I actually want, not living based on what other people are wanting, you know? Next one that I have, this one is a big one, and I think this one is really good as well. And I think this will help when you're feeling burnt out or you're feeling like you're not making any progress in life. This was a conclusion I was able to come to after a lot of thinking and reflecting. It's that you need to derive your validation from your own efforts, not your results. Okay, this is huge. Essentially saying you need to derive your sense of, like, you need to feel fulfillment in your inputs, in your efforts, in your production, in your action steps, not in your outputs or your results or your outcomes. Why? This is because you can't always inherently directly control your results, your outcomes, okay, your outputs. Those are things that we don't have nearly as much control over as we do in the sense of our efforts, our action steps, our inputs, the route that we're going. Those are things that we know we have direct control over, and it's a way more consistent, kind of honest path to be looking at, because also sometimes results are delayed. They don't always happen exactly on the timeline that we want them to or in the way that we want them to, right? Like, what we deem as success right now might look a little different from how the success actually manifested a year from now, right? So it's just like, you need to, instead of putting action in and being like, okay, well, I can only be happy and proud of myself if I actually am shredded and I had abs, or if I actually making 6 figures a year, or if I actually have this super hot boyfriend or whatever it is, like that, none of that is ever going to fulfill you internally, because nothing on the outside is ever going to fill an internal void. I always say it's like trying to put like a square peg in a round hole. It's just, they're not ever going to mesh together and fit seamlessly. You need to cultivate that fulfillment and that sense of accomplishment and recognition from within, because nothing on the outside is ever going to give you that. So that's why it's so important to pull this validation from your efforts, from how you show up, from your action steps. Those have to be enough to give you that validation, because I promise you, if you're constantly waiting for the results to do that, you're constantly always going to be seeking something outside of yourself that's never actually clicking. And it's kind of always like, I see that if you're looking for validation in your results, it's always like a moving target for a few different reasons. It's always like out of reach. It feels like, kind of metaphorically, but two, we always have this tendency to constantly be raising the bar, especially for a lot of you guys who listen to this podcast pretty avidly. I know that we have a lot of go-getters, a lot of people who are super self-aware. You must be into personal development, things like that. So it's super normal, even if it's on the subconscious level, to continuously be raising the bar, meaning that we're never actually, we're never going to get there, because we're moving the goalpost, we're moving the finish line. It's always this moving target. Unless you're stopping to celebrate the wins, but it's always like kind of a temporary high and then it fades off. What's always so lasting, what's always so fulfilling, what is always so thorough is really gaining validation from within. So you really need to start taking more time and pausing and giving yourself that recognition and validation. Again, keyword, giving it to yourself. I'm saying that intentionally, giving that validation and recognition to yourself for your efforts, for how you showed up, for how you acted, for the action steps that you took, right? For the mindset shifts that you had, for the effort that you put into something. Those are the things that really matter. Those are the things that you can control. And those are the things that are worth the most pat on the back, essentially, because that is your actions. Like, that is you putting the effort to get yourself to a better place. And that is worth every single ounce of praise. So rather than saying, damn, I didn't grow 5,000 Instagram followers, or damn, I didn't get that promotion of the $10,000 raise, or, oh, I didn't get a boy who said that they, I don't know, think I look cute today. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I can't make things up on the fly. But I'm just saying, instead of being upset for not getting these quote unquote results that you're wanting, whatever that looks like, right? Relationship, career, in your hobby, anything. Rather than being upset for that, start praising yourself for saying, oh my gosh, I made my bed today. I got myself to the gym. I made myself a home cooked meal. I did my mindfulness. I got myself out of my comfort zone and challenged my anxiety and talked to the cashier at the grocery store today. I smiled at that cute guy at the gym. I like stuff like that. Like, what did you do today? What action steps did you take to get yourself 1% better, to improve who you are, to get yourself one step closer to your goals? Like, those are the things that actually need to be praised and validated and recognized. And I promise, again, you're going to feel so much more fulfilled, so much more grounded, so much more centered, and you will actually get more thorough, honest feelings of that validation and recognition that you so desperately seek in your results that never seem to come. Why? Because it's something outside of yourself. I think stuff like this too, sometimes I find myself like wanting to over-explain to like prove the point to people who maybe be a little bit more logical and analytical, but I'm sitting here thinking like, you know exactly what I mean. Like, we've all experienced it. Like, there's also another great quote that I saw online that was like, if being hard on yourself was helpful, it would have worked by now, and clearly it hasn't. That's kind of like what's going on here. Like, if getting validation from your results actually had a lasting impact, it would have already done that by now. But clearly it hasn't. Like, we've all experienced that. We get this 2-second high and then we constantly still feel like we're not good enough 2 days later, right? So shifting your perspective to the other side of the coin, where you're pulling your validation from your efforts and your inputs rather than your results and your outputs. Okay, third one, obstacles are opportunities for growth. This was such a also amazing life lesson, because I think when I was younger and I didn't really have full awareness and understanding of everything, like, I definitely went through this period where I wanted everything to be good constantly, 24/7, all the time, happy, sunshine, rainbows, butterflies. Like, it's okay. No, I swear it's okay. I promise it's okay. And as I've gotten older, I realized like, it's okay if you're not okay, or it's okay if things aren't going the way that you thought they would go, or it's okay if you didn't get the news that you wanted to get, because these are all simply just opportunities. They are kind of growing pains. They're creating space for you to learn something, to learn a lesson, and then to take that new knowledge and that new experience and that new insight and build upon it and turn it into something even bigger and greater, and turn it into a stepping stone that you could use to climb the ladder one more ring. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is something that's super important to remember, even though it can be hard to remember this in challenging times, because when we're in challenging times, we're like, this is it, like I'm done, life's over, this is all it is. And there's no hope. But it's so important to remember, like, no, these obstacles are simply just opportunities, right? They're not your downfall. They're not the end of the world. They're actually some of the most loving gestures from the universe, because they're doing this for the greater good of your future self. It's kind of like the same thing when you think about parenting a child. You're not making them have protein and vegetables for dinner when they really just want mac and cheese and candy because you hate them and you want them to have a bad time. No, you're doing it for the benefit of their health over the long haul, something they'll understand when they're older, to help them develop good, healthy habits, to have them understand what it means to have nourishing foods, like things like that. It's the same thing here in relation to the universe. Like, obstacles are simply just tough love from the universe. So, keyword being love. It's an act out of love from the universe to help us on our path and journey of evolvement. Is that a word? It sounds like it should be. Of evolvement and betterment, and just helping us refine on our journey into becoming our better selves. So that is a big one. When times are tough, remember, this is actually just creating opportunities for you. And I would really urge you guys to pause and think about, okay, how can I actually see how this is an opportunity for me right now? Rather than just getting so lost in sulking and saying, this is it, I'm doomed. Let's take a second, create some space and say, okay, what am I learning here? How is this actually helping me? How is this perfect because it's helping me become a better person, XYZ? For example, I went through a really hard time last year mentally, which I've explained many times on here and in my YouTube, on my YouTube and stuff like that. And I really thought that was it. I thought it was the end of me. I was like, live fit's dead. Like, I need to give up on my dream. I was so down bad. I had such bad imposter syndrome. I was like, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm not even special. Like, who's gonna listen to me? All this stuff. And that hard time was so necessary, because that lesson in and of that, there was such a huge pull and a call from the universe for me to deepen into lessons I already was aware of, but I needed to go I needed to know it in even deeper levels than I did before. I got even more rooted to what makes me special and unique. I got even more rooted to my personal power. I got even more rooted to my purpose. I got more rooted to my why, of why I love to show up on social media, of why I'm so passionate about this brand of Live Fit, of why I'm so passionate about speaking of personal development and mindset and health and wellness to you guys to help people. So that was simply just, it wasn't just a time for the universe to pull me through the ringer for kicks and giggles. It was a time for the universe to call me and force me to shed even those limiting beliefs I didn't even know I was holding on to get rid of them, because I quite literally could not take them with me if I wanted to level up in my life and in my frequency overall. I had to let them go. So how am I supposed to let them go if I didn't even know they were there, right? So that's why the universe needed to show me those things, bring them to the surface so that I could work through them, purge, let them go, deepen into all of my prosperous thoughts about myself, and root in even deeper into my self-image and what makes me unique and my power, all these sort of things. That was the purpose in that time. So that's kind of an example of what I mean when I say these obstacles and challenges truly are just opportunities for growth. Number 4, this is a great one. This kind of changed my life. I actually remember when I heard this quote, this was in 2019. I was struggling tremendously with my own body image, with my own self-image, with self-love specifically. Not even self-image, it was more so self-love. I did not love myself. I did not think, I really was struggling with my body image, my sense of self, my identity. It was not a good time. I really was so mean to myself all the time in my brain. And I remember I was trying so hard to lose weight, and I could not do it for a year. I could not lose the weight, and I kept trying to beat myself up to do so. I was like, oh, I just need to sprint harder. I just need to be stricter on my diet. I just need to do more steps. I just need to be more disciplined. Like I was just I had no grace with myself. I had no compassion. I had no gentleness with myself, nothing. I was so hard on myself. And then I remember I saw this quote and it said, "You can't hate yourself into a version that you love." You can't hate yourself into a version that you love. We have to understand that the intention that we're acting from, that's what manifests. We're not necessarily always getting what we want. We're manifesting the space we're acting from and our intention. So again, if you're acting from this place of like, oh, I want to lose 15 pounds because I literally am so unlovable and so disgusting the way I am right now, you are acting on a subconscious level out of hate. You're not acting from a place of love, of saying, hey, you deserve to be your healthiest. You deserve to feel your most confident. You deserve to feel really good from all of your healthy habits. You deserve to be taken care of. Those are two completely different intentions. So for me, I was heavily acting out of a place of self-hate. I was trying to hate myself into losing 15 pounds. I was trying to hate myself into having confidence and feeling secure in myself and feeling worthy and deserving. I was trying to hate myself to get to that point. But guess what? This is the oldest thing in the book. You can't drive out hate with more hate. Right? You need love to drive out that hate because again, the intention that the space that you're creating from is what you're going to create more of. So this is with everything in life. This isn't even just fitness. This is in your career. This is in your financials. This is in your relationships. This is in your personal freaking free time. This is in your hobbies. Like if we are constantly so hard on ourselves and so rude and so mean to ourselves all the time, that's what's going to continue to keep manifesting in our life in different ways. Like I'm telling you, it shows up. It shows up in other ways. Either it's going to show up in your boyfriend being absolutely horrible to you. It's going to show up in your boss not recognizing that you deserve having a raise. It's going to show up in your physical body because when you're so hard on yourself, that's impacting our nervous system. Everything manifests in the body, emotionally, everything. I believe in all of that through and through. I just promise you are going to be at least slowing, if not blocking, your ability to progress if you're constantly just acting from a place of hate. And again, I think another kind of real world example to really bring this home is like, think about like your friend. If your friend asked you for a favor and they were like, yeah, this is like the least you can do for me. Like you literally do nothing. Like you actually have the time to get off the couch and like do this for me. Like I deserve it and you're doing nothing with your life. You'd be like, excuse me? You wouldn't want to go help your friend. And that's my analogy for like how you speak to yourself, of you acting rudely to yourself. If someone rudely asked something of you, you'd be like, I'm not doing that. Whereas opposed to if your friend was like, hey, like I see you're working so hard. I'm so proud of you, etc. Like I know you're super busy, but is there any way you have like 5 minutes just to like get the mail for me and bring it to my room while I'm away, or like bring my package in? You'd be like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, no problem. Like she's so cute and nice. Why? Because she's acting from a place of love. So that's just kind of a mirrored example of like how that kind of can now translate into the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's a huge one. You cannot hate yourself into a version that you love. If you're wanting more of yourself, if you're wanting to up level, if you're wanting happiness, to feel worthy, to feel just good and feel comfortable with yourself, we need to stop hating ourselves, babes. It's not going anywhere. We need to love ourselves to get there. It's really the only path. Okay. Number 5, recognize when your desires are band-aids for something deeper. Okay. I hope that kind of made sense. What I mean by that is saying we think that, okay, let's backtrack. In society, we obviously have so many pressures of like the quote unquote right way to live. There's a societal definition of success, right? There's the saying of wanting to keep up with the Joneses, etc. So a lot of desires that we think that we want, okay, such as maybe getting a designer bag, or living in a certain apartment, or having a certain partner, or getting married at a certain time, or maybe having kids, or getting a certain car, or having a certain job, or making a certain amount of money, whatever it is. Maybe you think like, yeah, but I think I actually want to be a lawyer. That's like, you think that's what you want, when really you reflect and you're like, wait, actually, I only think I want that because that's what my parents deemed as like a respectable job. And I just really want to be respected and valued and recognized. And deep down, you think that's the only way you're going to be able to feel that way from your parents, when in reality, you just want to be an artist and you're fine making $50K a year, but you're embarrassed by your high school friends because they're making $250,000 a year, like whatever it is. I'm just saying there's all these different desires that we think that we want. And I'm not saying sometimes you do want those things. Like for me, like I know I just want a Porsche Cayenne, like that's something I want if there was no one on the planet, or if there was this, however many people there are now on the planet, like just that's something I want regardless. So I'm not trying to knock anyone's desires, whether they're materialistic or not. All are valid. And you should never feel guilty for wanting any of those things. But I'm just saying, make sure those desires are actually true to you and not just simply a cover up for something your soul is actually craving on a deeper level. For example, again, just using my own journey, when I was 19 and whatnot, and I really wanted to lose weight, yes, a part of that was I did want to feel comfortable in the mirror. Again, that's kind of that like speaking to that surface level goals that I was just speaking about. Like there's nothing wrong that I wanted to change the way I look. That's fine, right? Like I wanted to be more confident in the mirror, but there was a deeper layer to that I wasn't recognizing until I literally had a breakdown of like, oh my gosh, I still hate myself. And really that me wanting to lose weight, 15 pounds, was really just a band-aid for me actually wanting to feel true confidence in myself and love for myself. And I thought the only way to get those feelings was by losing the weight, when it really wasn't. Like really what I did, spoiler alert, I actually started to shift loving myself and being more confident in myself as I am first. And then that's actually like true story. Then I started to lose the weight. That's what led me. So it was like I was trying to do it the reverse way, if you will. But so I'm just saying there's plenty of things in life that we think that we want when really we don't actually want it. Like we want it because society tells us that we should want it, or, that we think it's going to actually make us feel a different way. And we're not realizing we're actually just searching for the feelings that can come in different ways. You know what I mean? And I think as we get to this age, like again, I'm 25, I am seeing so many people being engaged, buying houses, having a baby. And, I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, I'm like, should I be like going to get married? Like, should I be going to get pregnant? Should I be looking for a house? Like all these things. And I'm like, wait, like if I actually sit and reflect, I'm like, I actually don't want those things right now in my life. Like again, if I tuned out everyone, if I didn't hear what anyone else was doing in their life, I'm not like, if I'm being so honest with myself, that's not what I'm craving right now in this phase of life for myself. Like for me, I see that more so around like in my 30s. So I'm just saying, like, please don't get lost in that comparison game and keeping up with the Joneses and feeling like these external things are going to bring us certain things when the reality is they're not going to. And a lot of the times it then ends in us ignoring these deeper rooted issues of actually cultivating self-worth, of cultivating self-love, of learning to love our own company rather than feeling all this loneliness. Like it basically perpetuates the root problem by thinking that these band-aid desires are going to do something for us. Okay. So just recognize and really reflect on your desires and ask yourself, like, are these just simply band-aids for things I'm actually seeking deeper? If so, how can I go to the root and actually give myself those things on the deeper level rather than thinking and waiting these external desires are going to give me these deeper things that I'm actually seeking. Okay. And the final one that I have for this episode is to not let someone's hypothetical thought prevent you from taking action. Do not let someone's hypothetical thought prevent you from taking action, okay? I had this revelation, I think back in like 2021, 2022. This one was big for me because I really had to work through, again, it's with what I do for work with social media, like there's a lot of things that I do that people think are embarrassing. And I really had to work through that like embarrassment, that fear of being seen, working through people's judgments and being like, oh man, what if they judge me? I had to work through all of that. And so this was a big one for me where I realized I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know, like, cause for example, I would be scared to film film in the gym because I'm like, all these people are judging me. And I'm like, okay, wait, newsflash, Liv. I've never had one person come up to me and say, haha, like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Are you really filming yourself in the gym? I've never had one person say that to me. So I realized, I was like, wait, I'm actually making an assumption right now. Like, actually, I'm the one doing the judging because I'm making this up in my own head that I think that these people are judging me when I actually have no freaking proof that they are. So it's a completely hypothetical concept, a maybe, a what if, maybe these people are judging me. What if these people are judging me? Hypothetically, these people could be judging me. I'm like, we don't even know if this is real. And now I'm just wasting my time by not even following my dreams, because then it would make me not film in the gym. And what's the result? I'm the one eating that consequence. It's that saying, like, where you drink the poison expecting the other person to get killed. Like, you're the one actually poisoning yourself. Like, it's not working, babes. It's going the opposite way. And so I was the one eating my own consequences by something no one else was even doing to me. Like, if you think about it that way, it's so crazy, because you're like, wait a minute, actually no one said that. Like, actually no one has openly judged me. No one has actually told me that they're thinking about me and making fun of me and saying what I'm doing is embarrassing. I'm actually the one that's creating that, giving life to it. I'm the one energizing it, and I'm the one altering, my whole course of action based on something that we don't even know is real. Like, that's where you're like, oh my gosh, wow, everything's an illusion. And it's like proof of how everything is mindset, because we think things are so factual and so set in stone, when it's like, no, it's your brain. Like, it's so crazy when you think about it. And that's why I do believe in manifestation and all this, because people are like, oh, well, there's no, like, it's not magic. That's not what manifestation is. It's literally just basically knowing how to use your brain in your favor. Honestly, that's how I'm going to start to describe manifestation, because that's like kind of what it is in a sense. It's learning how your brain works and rewiring that shit so it's actually working in your favor instead of working against you, because our whole life, our ego is programmed in a way to like keep us small and stuck and familiar and safe. And it's not a growth mindset inherently. Well, we are born with a growth mindset, but I'm just saying, like, the more that we go through life, we get programmed in a scarcity mindset, etc. So that is a huge one. Do not let someone's hypothetical thought prevent you from taking action, because we don't see how big of a compounding effects it has in that moment, because you're like, okay, I just won't film in the gym this day. But if I'm doing that day after day after day, guess who's not ever going to be filming gym content? Me. Then guess who's not ever going to have anything to post? Me. Guess who's then not going to be able to be working with Affy? Me. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is completely, like, the compounding effect is huge, and then it's preventing me from living out my dream when I don't even know if these people are, do you know what I'm saying? It's like all for nothing, I guess is what it feels like. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, you're like, it's like a bow and arrow just went through your foot, and you're like, oh my gosh, someone just shot me. And you're like, wait, I'm actually the one that's holding the bow. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what this whole situation is. So this could be in anything. This could be in your work. This could be in relationships. This could be how you feel like your friend is or isn't judging you. Like, you don't actually know, and you can't let something that we don't even know is real prevent you from living your life to the capacity and in the way and in the dynamic that you want to live it. Like, that's your prerogative. You have every single ounce to go for it. And to be honest with you, the people who do go for it, they're the most inspiring. And the people who quote unquote like maybe are judging are the ones on deep down are like, damn, they at least had the confidence and courage to do that. And like, that's what I think is actually commendable. You know what I mean? Like, I love that shit. I'm like, hell yeah. That's me, like, I'm going to do it. I'm not scared. I'm courageous. I'm going to say F all y'all, and I'm going to go do it. Like, to me, I think that is so admirable and just cool is the word that I want to use. I just think it's so like fearless. I love the grit that comes with it. So that's everything. Those are all 6 little life lessons that I have for some mindset realignment. I'm going to run through them again just for a little summary. So the first one is to value your opinion of you more than others' opinions of you. 2 is to get validation from your efforts, not from your results. 3 is that obstacles are opportunities for growth. 4 is you can't hate yourself into a version that you love. And 5 is to recognize when your desires are simply just band-aids for something deeper. And 6 is to not let someone's hypothetical thought prevent you from taking a real course of action. Okay. And my affirmation for this episode, this is just one that came to me recently and I love it. It doesn't like really go with the episode, but I love it. It says, I feel safe being seen in my fullest, authentic expression. I want to scream it from the rooftops. I feel safe being seen in my fullest, deepest, broadest, most extravagant, authentic expression. Okay. I feel safe being seen in my fullest, authentic expression. That's something that I'm like wanting to work on again. I needed that one. So I really want to share it with you. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching if you're on YouTube. If you didn't know, yes, it's just me back here. I do post the episodes to be watched on YouTube. If you're interested, if you want to go subscribe, if you haven't already and you want to leave a rating and review for the show, helps absolutely tremendously with having us grow, reach more people, and therefore impact more lives, which is the goal. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and hopefully I will see you in my next episode. Peace out.